Talking Trees with Lily and Jad. Welcome to this week's recap episode of Talking Trees. This week we've explored a variety of topics covering trees and their environments. On Monday we discussed water transport in trees, while Tuesday focused on felling techniques. Wednesday covered pruning practices during tree planting, and Thursday delved into tree morphophysiology and stability. On Friday, we highlighted the work of an organization dedicated to protecting ancient trees, and Saturday rounded out the week with a look at the impact of grazing on forests and the biodiversity of green roofs in urban areas. Let's dive into these fascinating topics together.
Hey arborists, welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
I know your work week was packed.
Absolutely.
Trees don't keep to a 9 to 5. So we've done the heavy lifting for you with Talking Trees.
That's right.
Talking Trees covered everything from water transport and felling techniques to ancient tree preservation and even sparked some debate with Franz Werra's theories.
Definitely.
So we'll hit all the highlights.
Okay.
Monday's deep dive into water.
Yep.
Tuesday's look at felling.
Right.
Wednesday's pruning discussion. Thursday's exploration of morphophysiology. Friday's profile of the ancient tree forum.
Right.
And wrapping it up with Saturday's discussion of Franz Werra.
Yep.
Ready to get started.
Absolutely. Let's jump in.
Monday's episode really caught my attention.
Oh, yeah.
With that groundbreaking research on how water moves through trees.
It's amazing.
It turns out those spiral-shaped nanofibers in phloem vessel walls might hold the key to almost frictionless water transport.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Okay. That's pretty mind-blowing.
I know.
But how does that square with what we already know about water movement in trees?
Right.
Things like the cohesion tension theory.
Well, that's the big question.
Yeah.
It's almost like this discovery throws a wrench into our understanding of embolism repair.
Interesting.
Could these nanofibers play a role in that process?
I never thought about that.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
What if this changes how we think about drought stress in trees?
Now that is a game changer.
Right.
Especially with the climate becoming increasingly unpredictable.
Exactly.
Understanding this new mechanism could be crucial.
Oh, for sure.
For how we approach tree care in the future.
Absolutely.
Moving on to Tuesday, Talking Trees got down to the nitty-gritty of tree felling.
It did.
We all love those satisfying felling videos.
Of course. Who doesn't?
But the episode had a lot more to offer than just spectacle.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Those Husqvarna articles were packed with detailed techniques. From the Humboldt notch to the gap cut, stuff you don't always see in those quick videos.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. And what really stood out to me
Yeah.
was the emphasis on safety precautions across all the sources.
Absolutely.
No matter what technique they were discussing, safety was always front and center.
Yeah, remember that story?
Oh, yeah.
From the Husqvarna article about the guy who almost got crushed by a leaning tree?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Because he didn't properly assess the situation.
Whoa. That's a sobering reminder.
It is.
Makes you realize how important those safety checks really are.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Every time.
Absolutely. Wednesday's episode tackled the debate on pruning newly planted trees. And Talking Trees took a pretty bold stance.
They did. It was interesting.
They basically said, ditch the old school crown reduction after transplanting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
So are they saying don't prune at all?
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
They emphasized starting with high-quality saplings
Okay.
and providing proper care.
Right.
But when it came to pruning,
Yeah.
they advocated for minimal cuts.
Interesting.
They even dove into the physiological reasons why excessive pruning can actually hinder a young tree's establishment.
Okay. I'm starting to see their point.
Yeah.
But how do you guide the tree's development without pruning?
Well, that's where formative pruning comes in.
Okay.
It's all about making targeted cuts
Right.
to shape the tree's structure and encourage strong branch attachments.
Okay.
Think of it as setting the tree up for success in the long run.
So it's less about removing branches and more about directing growth.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
This completely changes my approach to planting projects.
I know, right?
It really challenges the status quo, doesn't it?
It does.
On Thursday, Talking Trees went deep into the world of tree morphophysiology.
It did.
And honestly, I felt like I needed a dictionary for that one.
Oh, yeah. It can be a complex topic.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's about understanding the connection between a tree's form, its function, and its development throughout its entire lifespan.
So it's like looking at the big picture of a tree's life, right?
Exactly.
Right.
They discussed things like architectural models, growth phases, and even how seemingly defective morphology can actually contribute to a tree's stability.
Wow.
Imagine being able to predict a tree's future just by understanding its past and present form.
Wow.
That's the power of morphophysiology.
That's incredible.
Isn't it?
It sounds like it could really change the way we assess and manage trees.
For sure.
Now, Friday's episode brought us to the world of ancient trees, specifically the work of the Ancient Tree Forum, or ATF.
Right.
They're a group of passionate individuals.
They are.
Dedicated to protecting these majestic giants.
Absolutely.
I remember that episode had a really inspiring tone.
It did.
They talked about Ted Green.
Yeah.
The founder of the ATF.
Right.
And his incredible dedication to preserving these living monuments.
Really is.
What really struck me was that they're not just talking about protecting individual trees.
Right.
They're looking at the entire ecosystem.
They are. That's a great point.
That's a great point.
They covered ATF's efforts to promote awareness and best practices, lobby for stronger protections, and support vital research.
Right.
They even shared their 2022-2027 strategy, which focuses on engaging more volunteers, expanding educational programs, and building strong partnerships.
It's really impressive how much they're doing.
It is.
With limited resources.
Yeah.
It makes you realize the impact a small group of dedicated people can have.
It really does.
Right. They're really leading the charge, championing these ancient trees. And their work has valuable lessons for all of us.
It does.
All right, let's wrap up this week's recap with Saturday's episode.
Yep.
Which got a little controversial.
Oh, yeah.
By diving into Franz Vera's work on European forest history.
Right.
Vera's work is definitely thought-provoking.
It is.
He challenges the long-held belief that pre-industrial agriculture enriched European biodiversity. So he's saying human intervention didn't actually create the diverse forests we see today.
Exactly. He argues that these landscapes actually supported greater biodiversity in their more natural state. Which he believes was more like a parkland with grazing animals.
Wow. That's a pretty radical idea.
It is.
I'm not sure I buy it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely interesting to think about.
Oh, for sure.
It definitely challenges conventional thinking.
So as you're out there working with trees this week, I want you to consider, how does Vera's perspective challenge your assumptions about forest management? Does it change how you view the role of humans in shaping these ecosystems?
That's a good question.
Yeah, food for thought.
It is.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
It does. What's fascinating here is how all these seemingly disparate topics connect into the bigger picture of tree care. It's not just about knowing how to climb a tree.
Nope.
Or operate a chainsaw.
It's so much more than that.
It's about understanding the science, the history, the interconnectedness of it all.
Absolutely.
Precisely. And that's what makes Talking Trees such a valuable resource for professional arborists.
It is.
They don't shy away from complex topics.
Nope.
And they encourage critical thinking.
For sure.
I appreciate that they don't just present information as black and white. They acknowledge the debates, the uncertainties, and the evolving nature of our understanding of trees.
Right, because it is evolving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It reminds us that we're all constantly learning and adapting as arborists. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of talking trees.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
We'll be back next week with more insights and inspiration.
Until then, keep those trees thriving.
Thank you for joining us for this recap episode of Talking Trees. If you enjoyed these topics, don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all our future discussions. Your support helps us continue bringing valuable content. Visit herohero.co/talkingtrees to access full episodes and exclusive content. We appreciate you being part of our community, and we look forward to exploring more with you next time. Until then, stay curious and keep growing with us.